Wenzel, everybody, just jacking off in the shower. So I guess it's only appropriate that I introduce his roommate, who has to probably step through that. Ladies and gentlemen, he used to be Huntsville's homeless comedian, and thanks to David Wenzel, he doesn't even have that anymore. Big round of applause for Mr. Joel Elliott!
Oh man, yeah, David was talking about nihilism. When I first hit town, I was trying to meet people, and so I went to a nihilist support group. I went to 6 meetings, and after 6 meetings, I was still the only person that showed up. Because why? You know, like, what's the point? Oh man, wow, what a state. America! It is election night in America. Hashtag I'm with stupid, am I right? Everybody's voting for the person that scares them less than the other person. It's ridiculous. Like, our choice is between, like, an evil, maniacal robot who's hell-bent on authoritarian control and Jill Stein. Like, like when Jill Stein is like the most human candidate, where are we, you know? I mean, because Gary Johnson, he's also a robot, but he's more like the hedonist robot from Futurama, you know? He's like, these grapes taste so much better when they're not regulated. Ooh, yeah. Like, it's like, I want to get behind a third party, but like, all the third parties are just led by crazy people. Yeah, I mean, they're as crazy as the 2 major candidates. I don't know. As Will said, I am like the former #1 homeless comedian of Huntsville, Alabama, and the word former is really very relative. Really very, like, I was only street homeless for a couple of months, and the reason that I got the title, you know, #1 homeless comedian in Huntsville, is because I just kept saying it over and over again, because I hoped that eventually one of these comedians would let me come inside, you know, like, it took about 2 months, it turns out, but yeah, like, I kind of afterwards, you know, like, once I got off the street, I had a job and I was paying rent and all of that, I kept talking about the subject because people were kind of enchanted about the subject and whatnot, and also because I know, like, I'm a mess. This is going to become relevant again eventually, so let's just keep that alive. But yeah, I was a ballsy homeless guy. The reason how I got there in the first place was that I got married in Pennsylvania, and the marriage went south in every way possible because the last 2 months of it I spent in Alabama jail. You know, like, it was as south as it could possibly get, and ended up just, you know, just coming out to the open mics and networking that way, because I'm only comfortable when I'm on a microphone. It makes getting a real job kind of difficult, because when you drag a PA system into an office and you're like, all right, round of applause, who's in human resources? It really weirds people out, you know, like, so I've actually managed to get 2 jobs just from doing this. It's a bizarre thing. And I harp on the homelessness also because the only other thing about my personality is that, like, I'm mentally ill. And so, you know, it's like I have a thing called borderline personality disorder. I'm very unsure about my identity. I hear a lot like, oh, look, you're a whole new person. But then sometimes it's like, you're a different person from when I met you. It gets difficult, you know? Like, my therapist, you know, like, I was seeing a therapist for a while, and every time I came in, she was like, oh, you're a whole different person from the last time that I saw you. I'm like, I know, that's the problem. That she dumped me, you know, my therapist dumped me. I felt bad for her, because it's like, we spent this, like, 50 minutes talking about how I fear rejection, and I freeze up because I'm afraid that people are going to abandon me, and, like, the whole time she's like, oh, crap, I'm going to have to dump this asshole in a second. But, I just feel bad. I just felt bad for her. So, okay, it is looking like Trump has a chance as far as this election is concerned, and I am, even though, like, okay, anybody that says what doesn't kill you makes you stronger has never had a 10-year relationship with somebody with an anger problem. Like, no, what doesn't kill you makes you like a scared neurotic bunny rabbit. Like, this is going to be a rough 4 years if we elect, like, just an open bully, you know, to the presidency. Like, I don't want to see a bully become president, but if Trump does win, I'm okay with it, as long as they give him his Twitter feedback. If they give him his Twitter feedback, I'm like, all right, this is going to be an entertaining 4 years. for the lead up to the election, I found out in the last 2 months, like, people are just so deathly terrified of this man. If you just keep like an alert on his Twitter feed, and every time he tweets, you check and see, like, if it's one of those just crazy off the wall tweets, you get a zinger in there, and people like just hold you up, you know, like on their arms, like you just won a sports game. It's great. Twitter people love the pileups on Trump, and so I'm looking forward to 4 years of piling up on the crazy lunatic who's now president. And 4 years of Alec Baldwin on Saturday Night Live, am I right? There are positives to this. I mean, like, yes, black people and women may lose the vote, but SNL is going to be hilarious. We gotta look on the bright side of life. All right, I will be performing, I'm sure, sometime soon. Because, well, like I said, this is all I have. I've been looking for a job lately. Every time that I mention it to somebody that I'm looking for a job, they say, "Well, what is it you do?" I'm like, does wallowing in existential dread and tweeting count? Because, like, nothing. That's what I do. Didn't you hear me? I'm looking for a job. But yeah, comedy's gonna take me there. I'll tell you. It got me off the streets once. It's terrible. I've got a reputation of being like a stray cat in this town. There are artists in this town that, like, what keeps them up at night is like, oh, did we remember to put a saucer of milk out for Joel? Throw some cigarette butts out the window. He'll smoke them. He calls them shorts. It's ridiculous. All right, Hotspot, you have been great. I, on the other hand, have simply been.
Holy shit, Joel Elliott, everybody. You know, Joe, I'm going to do something you forgot to do for once.
Oh!
You can follow him on Twitter at Awkward Handle.
Follow my awkward handle on Twitter.
I did something that you completely forgot to do.